Hi everyone. Hope you guys are having a good week. So this is week 3 of PE 570, and the questions are basically where is your school in compliance and out of compliance within these administrative tasks that were talked about in chapter 8 and 9, scheduling and transportation. So I'm an elementary athletic director, so this is just firsthand to me. So um, I think, and then obviously I work with the junior high and high school athletic director. The high school athletic director does junior high as well, so we work together. And I think my school, we do a pretty good job in regards to scheduling and transportation. Um, in regards to scheduling, there's just a lot of communication that has to be involved because you have to get facilities. Um, and I work in Fullerton here in Orange County, so I have to call a couple people to get the gym for basketball and volleyball, or if we're doing football, I have to call someone else from the city to reserve the fields, or same with soccer, someone else. And so there's just a lot of communication, but um, uh, I think we do a good job there, and then transportation is a little bit tricky because we're a smaller private school, so everything we do, or I'd say mostly everything we do, is by volunteers. Especially, well, at least for elementary and junior high, it's all based off volunteers. High school, we're able to get buses sometimes, or we'll just use a van that the school owns. But we do volunteers where um, volunteer drivers who are parents of the kids, sometimes, normally they'll have to have like a certain amount of insurance, and that's it. They just have to turn in their insurance, a copy of their license, and a copy of their insurance. That's all. And so we haven't really had any issues with that. I think where we struggle or we're out of compliance doesn't really have to do with chapter 8 and 9, but I think there's a relationship between transportation and academics. I think we struggle with academics because there's a standard that I just wrote about in the other forum where my school requires a 2.0 and no Fs. And to me, I personally think that's low. I think it should be a 2.5 and no Ds either. But that's just what it is. And as an elementary AD, I don't want my standard to be harder than junior high or high school. That wouldn't make sense. So, but where I think we miss it sometimes is, I think we try to please the families or the parents a little bit too much, because they go crazy. Sometimes they go crazy if their kids can't play because they have an F or a D or under a 2.0 or whatever it may be. And then we try to give them grace, or they make some type of improvement. Maybe a kid has a 45. I have a student right now who has a 45, and say he gets it up to a 55. Sometimes the parents want it to slide, or the teacher will say, hey, let it slide because there's been improvement. To me, I don't think that's how it should be, but sometimes I just don't think we're strict enough on that. And I just think that takes more communication with myself and the high school athletic director, and also being on the same page as the principal, um, and just being on the same page and knowing that, like, hey, I think parents are so serious sometimes that, like, sometimes these parents really come to my school for sports, to play elementary sports, because that's not offered at a lot of schools. So I literally had a fourth grade parent who said he wasn't making grades, and they told me this year that Caleb came to Eastside for sports, which doesn't make sense to me, but because we're not great, and it's just elementary school. You could play sports for the city, but it's so important to them that it almost sounds like they would pull their kid from the school if he doesn't play. So that's just tricky, and I just think it takes communication and really being serious about the athletic handbook that we have, and communication with me and the other athletic director and the administrators, as far as the principal and the assistant principal. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have in response to this. All right.